Uh-oh, here we go. Hey, 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 thank you for joining in with me, you guys. So happy Wednesday. So I just wanted to check in with you guys. I haven't had a live schedule here today, and there was I kind of goofed up on the flyer for it, so my co-host for the day will not be joining in, but I still wanted to jump on here to give you guys some information about the upcoming home buyers workshop. So, as our office on October 4th, we are hosting a home buyers workshop from 6 to 8 p.m. It's going to be held at the Warrensville Heights Library. If you send me a text message to 216-220-7886, I will text you back the link so you can register for this free event. So I've already had questions before it has even started is when will we be doing our next one? Some of you may have a scheduling conflict, so you're not able to attend. And so we don't have anything on the books that we are going to be doing another one, I guess, as our office, but we can definitely host a one-on-one consultation with you and kind of run through all of the points, the like an overview of what we're covering on October 4th. So who should come out to this workshop? Anyone that's thinking about buying a home, for sure, if you're a first time home buyer. And I also like to say, if you are a first time real estate investor, many of you have never owned a home, even as a first time real estate investor. So you want to come out and you want to learn the general process because it's the same process of finding the property, potentially needing funding for that property, and then moving through the title, closing, inspection period of the property as well. Many first time investors use traditional financing as their way to get started in the business. So looking at anything 4 units or less is going to be considered residential real estate, which also allows you to purchase using traditional financing like your FHA and conventional loans. There are going to be some requirements, though, if you use that type of financing as an investment property, and we'll talk about that on October 4th. I do have a few questions that I wanted to kind of go through today. If you're a first-time home buyer. And so here's some of the common questions. We'll go in depth on these questions on October 4th, but here's kind of a little snapshot of what we have. So that first question is going to be, how much mortgage can I afford? Oftentimes, potential buyers will reach out to us confused or just wanting a little direction. They don't know how much they can afford. I guess I would start with, if you are currently renting a home, if you're currently renting a home and you've been renting and you pay a monthly rental amount, and if you are comfortable, like you pay that monthly rental amount with ease and you still have money left over, then you may be in a position to increase and go up on a mortgage payment every month. But if you're comfortable where you at and you want to remain where you're at, you can do that. We just need to find a home within that price point. Also, when you work and get with your mortgage lender, they're going to do a calculation based on all of your income that you have coming in and all of the expenses that you have going out on the property. And they're going to tell you exactly what you qualify for. The thing to remember is the lender is always going to look at it like before taxes. And, we really live off of our after taxes. So you want to make sure that you don't overspend when looking for a home. So the next common question is, what do I need to qualify for a loan? That question comes up all the time because we have some people that are W-2 employees, some people are 1099, some people do not have a long history of employment. So you want to make sure as a 1099 employee or just a W-2 employee, they're always looking for 2 years tax returns, 2 months of bank statements, 2 months of your pay stubs. So it's always following that number 2 in everything. So 2 years, Tax returns, W-2s, they like to see 2 months, 2 years, I'm sorry, 2 months of pay stubs, 2 months of bank statements. So that's something to think about on there. And they're going to use that to help determine how much you qualify for your loan. Something else that comes up, not as often, but it's definitely a question. Should I get a fixed rate or adjustable rate mortgage? Fixed rate or adjustable rate mortgage. So usually a fixed rate or adjustable rate mortgage, it kind of the market that we're in kind of dictates some of these like specialized loan products or loan types. And so in a in today's market, we're seeing more of fixed rate interest rate. In some cases, a adjustable rate may make sense. And so you never want to be in a position though where that rate kind of shoots up on you and you're not in a position to make a payment. But most people are going to be going with a fixed rate mortgage. What is PMI? PMI is private mortgage insurance. And so anytime that you're paying under 20% down on the home, under 20% down, whether it's a conventional loan or a FHA loan, the lender is going to put this private mortgage insurance, it's MIP, MPI, MIP, or PMI on there. And so in a conventional loan, once you pay into and you get a little over that 20% payment in there, it will actually fall off eventually. On a FHA loan, the PMI, it actually never falls off of the loan. You would have to refinance out of it into a conventional loan to have it removed. PMI puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths just because they look at it as this extra payment that if they could get rid of that payment, they can afford much more of a home. And while that may be true, if you didn't have that portion of the payment, you could get more home with that. The private insurance that's on there also has helped a lot of people to be able to afford a home now in today's market instead of having to wait, because otherwise lenders would consider them as being more of a high risk and would not want to do a loan with them, especially someone if you know your credit is much lower. So it's been around for a long time. It hasn't stopped a lot of people from purchasing a home. And so you definitely don't want that to, or get in your head and want that to block you from purchasing a home. Another common question that we often get is, should I get a 15 or 30-year mortgage? Should I get a 15 or 30-year mortgage? So what I say is, if you're in a position to do a 15-year mortgage, like for sure, stable job, stable income, then for sure, do that 15-year mortgage. Is going to save you a lot of money. If you're someone that, you may be planning a job change, or your work could be unstable, you're unsure, I say go with that 30-year mortgage. And so even with a 30-year mortgage, you have the flexibility of stretching out the payment with a lower payment than on an actual 15-year mortgage, but you have the ability to make an extra payment or two or more towards the principal. So you could still sign up for a 30-year mortgage and make two payments or that extra payment towards the principal of the loan, and knock down the repayment time on that loan. And if you wanted to, getting it back down to a 15-year mortgage time frame, or paid off in 15 years, if you have the cash to do so. But securing a 30-year mortgage allows you to not be, if there's a down month, emergency comes up, you're strapped for cash, it gives you the flexibility to make that lower payment if you need to. So that's definitely something to think about. The next thing is, how much should you put down? Well, each loan type will have a requirement as to how much you have to put down. And then anything above and beyond that is a conversation that you want to have with your mortgage rep, your loan officer, to see what makes sense at that point. Maybe they tell you that, hey, if you put down this extra amount, we can, get you a better interest rate by doing that. That is a conversation that is going to be different for everyone, because based on where you're at credit wise, income wise, and what's needed for your individual situation, your lender would be the best one to talk to help work out that plan with you. So if you have not already registered, please register for our October 4th Homebuyer Workshop. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. over at the Warrensville Heights Library. If you text the number 216-220-7886, I will share with you the link for you to register. You don't want to miss it. I don't know when we're going to have our next one, but we will have lenders there. We have a home inspector that will be there. We have a title rep that will be there, and many agents from our office will also be presenting on this day. And so this is a time for you to come out, ask your questions, and get everything resolved. Have a good day. Hi.